The next concept that we will talk about is continuous and comprehensive evaluation. So what is this CCE all about? Well, let's look at some examples which will help us understand this concept of CCE better. Ram and Sham were two friends. So both of them put effort in their studies throughout the year. But just before the exam, Sham got fever. So he could not sit in the final exam. So what happened? He failed. Whereas Ram sat in the final exam and he passed. Now, if we depend only on the annual exam, then Sham has failed and Ram has passed. But if we look at the effort that both of them have put in throughout the year, and if the assessment was done throughout the year, right, then both of them would have passed. So this is where continuous and comprehensive evaluation throughout the year would have helped. Next, let's look at Sita and Geeta. Now, Sita was a student who not only studied, but she also participated in sports and extracurricular activities, whereas Geeta focused only on studies. Now, if we look at what will be their performance only at the final exam, then maybe Geeta gets better marks and Sita will get lesser marks. But here we are looking at only the academic performance, right? So, if we were to use continuous and comprehensive evaluation, then we will give weightage to not only the academic concepts, but the sports and the extracurriculars as well. So then Sita also would have got high marks, and Geeta, who has focused only on studies, she also would have got high marks. So both of them would have been rated equally if we had used continuous and comprehensive evaluation rather than just focusing on the academic evaluation. And let's look at Ramesh and Suresh. Right? So what Ramesh did was he studied throughout the year. He tried to understand the complete subject. And because he was trying to cover a vast subject, he could not do it in a very thorough manner. Right? And he got B grade in the final exam. But he had put in the effort to try and understand the entire subject. Whereas what Suresh did was he partied throughout the year. But just before the exam, he solved some previous question papers and he studied some guidebooks. And because many of the questions got repeated, he did well and he got A in the final exam. But if you actually look at it, Ramesh has actually understood the subject better. Whereas Suresh just managed to do well in that one final exam, even if he has not understood the subject so well. Right? So here, if we had used continuous and comprehensive evaluation, then we would have evaluated both of them throughout the year. And we would have seen that Ramesh is actually a better student. So Ramesh probably would have gotten A and Suresh would have gotten a B. But if we use only a summative assessment at the end of the year, then Suresh would get an A and Ramesh would get a B. So these are the advantages of continuous and comprehensive evaluation, where we can evaluate the students throughout the year. We can evaluate them not only on the basis of academics, but we can evaluate them on the basis of their participation or performance in sports and extracurriculars as well. And we are not only just using the summative assessment to see how well they have done in a specific exam, but we are assessing them throughout the year so that we can understand how well they have grasped the subject as a whole. So these are the advantages of continuous and comprehensive evaluation. So based on the examples that we just saw, you must have understood that continuous evaluation means that the evaluation is happening on a continuous basis throughout the year, right? And not just on the basis of some annual exam or monthly exam or final exam, right? So evaluation is happening on a continuous basis. And you must have also understood that evaluation is happening on a comprehensive basis. That is, we are not just focusing on the scholastic or the curriculum or the academics. We are also looking at the co-scholastic or the extracurricular activities as well. So this is comprehensive. And looking at the history of continuous and comprehensive evaluation, it was first suggested in the National Policy of Education in 1986. Right? And it was also suggested in the National Curriculum Framework of 2005. However, it was given a legal status, or it was authorized by the Right to Education Act in 2009 under Article 29(1). And it was launched as a pilot for CBSE Class 9 in the academic year 2009. And it was rolled out on a national level from the 1st of April of 2010. And currently, if you look at the NEP 2020, the continuous and comprehensive evaluation process is being further streamlined, and there are some reforms that are coming in. And these changes will continue over the next few years. So this is the history of continuous and comprehensive evaluation. It is continuous because it happens throughout the year, and it is comprehensive because you are not just looking at the curricular activities, but you are also looking at the extracurricular activities. So what are the advantages of continuous and comprehensive evaluation? Well, first of all, it reduces exam related stress and anxiety because students are not just going to be worried about how their performance will be in the monthly exam or the annual exam. They know that they are being assessed on a regular basis. So even if a student does not do well in the final exam, that is not the end of the world because the student has been assessed throughout the year. So that exam stress and the exam fever that we see, that will definitely be reduced through continuous and comprehensive evaluation throughout the year. Right? And it also reduces the dropout rate because if students are failing in the monthly exam or the annual exam, right, and then eventually they tend to drop out of school. But here, because of the continuous and comprehensive evaluation, because there is assessment happening throughout the year, and the teacher also can do some additional activities or can take some corrective action wherever required. So we are not waiting till the end of the year to understand how well that student has learned something. Therefore, this continuous and comprehensive evaluation can help in reducing the dropout rate by making this entire learning process more enjoyable, right? And not just stressing out students and focusing them only on the exams. And again, here continuous and comprehensive evaluation means that there is a greater focus on learning throughout the year rather than just performance in the exams. Right? Remember the example that I told you about Ramesh and Suresh, and Ramesh studies throughout the year, but Suresh just focuses on the exam just before the exam, and he studies some guidebooks or he looks at some important questions from previous question papers and he gets higher marks. So that was unfair. So through continuous and comprehensive evaluation, we are going to focus on learning throughout the year rather than just on performance in the exams. And through continuous and comprehensive evaluation, we focus on the holistic development of learners. That is, we are not just looking at their academic performance, we are also giving importance to the co-scholastic or the extracurricular activities. And because if you look at all of these, then this CCE will definitely promote a learner-friendly environment, because anything that makes the learning more enjoyable is learner-friendly. And these co-curricular activities and extracurricular activities will also help students equip themselves with life skills, because if you are participating in some sports, then you learn the importance of teamwork, you learn the importance of cooperation, you learn the importance of negotiation. So all these are life skills that you will learn through these co-curricular and extracurricular activities. So these activities give students an opportunity to learn beyond what is being taught in the curriculum. Therefore, since continuous and comprehensive evaluation encourages co-curricular and extracurricular activities, this is ideal for making better human beings. Therefore, these are some of the advantages of continuous and comprehensive evaluation. The image or the graphic on this page summarizes whatever we have discussed so far about continuous and comprehensive evaluation. So in CCE, you have the continuous part and the comprehensive part. In continuous part, if you look at it, there is learning which is happening and the assessments are also happening in parallel with the learning. That is, the assessments are integrated into the teaching learning process. When we look at formative assessment, then there can be assessment as learning and assessment for learning as well. So assessment for learning is where we are focusing on the quality aspect. That is, what is the quality of the learning that has happened. And we also use summative assessment. Now summative assessment are the monthly tests or the annual tests. And here we are doing assessment of learning, where we are focusing on the quantity of the learning. Right? And on the comprehensive side, if you look at it, we are giving attention to the scholastic and the co-scholastic aspects of learning as well. That is, we are looking at the academics and the co-curriculars or the extracurriculars as well. To assess what is happening on the scholastic side, we can use formative assessments and summative assessments. And on the Co-Scholastic side, we are giving weightage to other aspects such as life skills, work education, or visual and performing arts, or attitudes and values, all of which will be very, very important in the future for the children. Therefore, this is what continuous and comprehensive evaluation is all about. If you want to learn more about continuous and comprehensive evaluation, then you should refer to NCERT's CCE guidelines booklet, which actually talks about how CCE can be implemented in a real classroom.